Hi, it's TrainerLori. I'm back, and now I'm at home. So it's been a few days since I've been on, but I've been very, very busy, as you can imagine, trying to move. First, trying to learn how to do everything over again, and then moving from the rehab center back home again, and then overdoing it once I got home. Not a good idea. Don't do that. I do not recommend it. The first thing I wanted to do, though, was have a little party for my neighbors who really did me so many wonderful things. They took care of my cat. They brought me things in the hospital that I needed. And it's not like they were all sitting in a pile. They had to walk around and try to find it. So the good news is I'm home. And I also found out from my therapy, the therapists are not coming to my house. And the PT gal came yesterday, Kathy, and she told me not to overdo it because it definitely wore me out. Saturday when I came home, we had the little party. And then Sunday, I needed to water my plants. So I went outside with my stick and hobbled around in the grass to get to the water and then had to pull the hose out. It was a lot of work. It was very strenuous. It's not something that I would have thought about before. It's no big deal. But when you have one wonky hand and one good hand and it's hard to walk, everything is harder. It really is. So I did that. I also did laundry. Desperately needed to do that. And I was completely wiped out on Sunday. Then what happens, my lovely little kitty that I really adore, she's a sweetheart, but she was so worried that I might be dead that she woke me up every hour just to make sure. Which is kind of funny, kind of sad, kind of scary, but also it can be very tiring, especially since Monday I'm back at work. Now, fortunately, because of this COVID-19, we're working from home now. If we weren't, I don't think I could have made it across the bridge in my car and gone into the office. So I'm blessed to be able to work from home. But that was a lot of effort too. I had a lot of things to catch up on, and my left hand cannot type at all. When I go to type, it just does its own thing. I'm practicing slowly, but when you're in an office environment, it's not the time to learn how to type. But I think I might have mentioned this before, but I'm very thrilled. I just keep it open all the time, and that is Word. I use Word, I teach Word, I know about Microsoft Word. And one of the things that it has, and it may be, your version may be just a little bit different because I noticed I have two versions, my office version and my home version. And the home version didn't have the tool on the toolbar already, but the office version did because my home version is 365, which means it's constantly being updated. However, it's still available. You have to just search for it. But it's a little tool, and that little tool is called Dictate. And when you click it, it will listen. I have a microphone right here, and I just tell into the microphone what I want to put in the email or write in the letter or whatever. And thank God it's really good. As long as you say the punctuation as well, it does it all. I have a friend who recovered from a stroke, and during that time, he wrote an entire book using this feature. It wasn't in Word then. He was using a separate, the Dragon software. But this is so good, it doesn't need to learn me. It learned me immediately, unlike the old style dictate tools. So keep that in mind if you need to type and you can't. If you need to be able to send letters or emails, it's a lot easier to use a tool like this, for sure. So I keep this open all the time, and whenever, especially the chat at work, we have a little chat thing, and it drives me crazy when people type in chat with bad punctuation or bad spelling or typos that they don't fix. Well, guess who makes those kind of errors now? It's me. So with this, I can type it out pretty good and then copy and just paste it into the chat. So it's slower. They might have responded differently than what I thought they responded by the time I get it. So, it's not perfect, but it's better than nothing. So that's one thing I'm doing. Also, I'm working on all my different T's, my physical therapy, which is your gross motor skills. That means like walking. One of my issues with walking is that I have a wonky hip. And I think I mentioned this back in the hospital. They discovered, they thought it might be the IT band, which is part of your gluteus maximus group. But yesterday my PT thought it was something else that I can't remember, but it's still in that general area. And so she recommended putting ice on it. That really helped. Of course, it made everything wet. It was in a plastic baggie wrapped with a towel, but it still got pretty wet. But oh my gosh, that made a big difference. Also, I need to remember to move. You know, when you sit at a computer all day, you forget to move. And this is for anybody, whether you've had a stroke or not. You definitely need to remember to move. I We used to do this all the time back in the office, and I asked if somebody wouldn't mind leading us in a 1 minute exercise every hour, just so we get up and move. And we did that for a long time till the guy that was leading it left, and nobody wanted to take it up. So now I have to remember to do that. I'm also using my Alexa to remind me to do things that I wouldn't have needed reminding before, because these are critical. Moving is critical. And yes, I'm doing my strength exercises, 3 pounds in my left hand, 15 pounds in my right hand, but hey, it's movement. I was on my bike this morning, not the outside bike. I'm not ready for that. I don't know that I could catch myself if I started to fall. But on my inside bike, which is really nice, it's recumbent. So it's the first day I sat in it maybe 5 minutes, slowly going around. And also I have to work hard to keep it on the pedals. I had stirrups to help hold my feet in, but they were worthless, so I cut them off. Now I probably could benefit from those stirrups, so I recommend don't cut things off. Just try to figure a way to take them off, and then you can put them back on again. But now, today I did 15 minutes. That's what I was doing before. So I think a lot of my physical ailments have come from just being sedentary over the last 2 weeks. Yes, I was able to walk around with the PT and practice walking, make sure I'm doing it right. But it wasn't a real exercise program. It was just some movement. But other than that, I was pretty much sedentary. Don't be sedentary. Move. The more I use my hand, the more it feels like it's coming back. The more tingling I get, and tingling is good because that indicates it's no longer numb. So it's very good. I feel with it better. I felt my kitty. I could actually feel the softness of her back. Whereas before, all I could feel was sandpaper. So it was nice to notice that difference. I can notice cool and warm too. Like when the PTs ask me to squeeze their hands, I can tell if their hand is cool or warm. Before, I couldn't even tell I was holding anything. So little wins. Here's one thing that I think is really important, and then I'll close. And that is try to remember what it is from day to day, because frankly, a couple of times I've been very frustrated and disappointed with my progress. Although everybody thinks it's phenomenal, I'm not 100%, and I want to be back to 100%. And so I'm a little disappointed and frustrated, and sometimes I can even get sad. I think I mentioned that I'm more emotional, and I don't want to, be too sad, because life is good, and I'm still alive, and that's a great thing. But I have to remember how far I've come. It doesn't feel like it because I keep remembering what 100% was like instead of 0% where I started from. And so now that I'm 20%, I think I've lost 80%, but actually I've gained 20%. It's probably a long way of saying that remember every day what it feels like to touch. If that's what your issue is, remember so I can feel cool. I can feel that this is hard. I'm touching the desk and it's hard. Before, I couldn't tell. In fact, the first time I touched my hand with my right hand, it felt like it was somebody else's hand. I had zero feeling at all. It was very strange. And but now I can feel myself touching it. And I'm doing all the things they suggest, touching everywhere and using, for example, I have a little towel here. Using a towel to touch everything, and that wakes up all your nerves, and to do it on both arms. And then the other thing that I thought was really important that my PT mentioned yesterday, these are the pill cups that they gave me. Oops, just dropped one. I dropped all the pills in, and I kept them because I thought, well, that looks like some kind of a little thing I can use to increase my fine motor skills. So I kept them all. And so now what I do is I stack them. I unstack them. And I'll tell you what, I could not do this at all the first few days, right? So But one of the things that my PT mentioned was, she said, make sure that you're crossing your divide when you do that. Because remember, my stroke, which was on the right side of my brain, affects the left side of my body. So if I cross that line, it helps both sides of the brain. So start on one side and then move it to the other side. Moving coins or little toys, or next time I'll show you all the things that I've purchased. I haven't tried them all yet, but they're toys made for small children and to increase their fine motor skills. So I'll let you know how that goes next time. Bye.